Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today. I think the name of the session is Love, Godly Love within Hillsong Music. But if I give you a title for the presentation today is How is Love Demonstrated in Hillsong Music? My name is Jinsung Jung. Nice to meet you. And first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who decided to watch my presentation video today. I'll do my best to keep your attention until the end of this video. Also, thanks to Dr. Andrew Davis and Dr. Tanya Riches who guided me and helped me throughout my MTH program, and then gave me the opportunity to contribute to this conference. I am excited for what I'm about to present today, but beforehand, let me introduce myself shortly, and we'll jump straight into the content. I am a MTH student at Hillsong College, Sydney, Australia. I came to Australia 2014 to study at Hillsong Leadership College, and I'm still here as a result of continuation of my study and being married to an Aussie. As a MTH student, I am currently doing a research project under my supervisor, Dr. Tanya Riches, whom I respect greatly, very much. I appreciate her. If you're watching it, thank you. Although this research project is not my presentation today, unfortunately, they are both talking about godly love. I figured I would point it out for the clarity. And due to ongoing research and writing of my journal article for this presentation, I do not have a written article yet, but my aim is to get this article ready for you to read by the time this conference begins. Therefore, today's presentation focuses on sharing the outline and some key ideas of this article. So the idea I'm proposing in this article is that the love within Hillsong music reflects Hillsong Church's distinctive theological emphasis on love. There are three keywords I'd like to mention early on in this presentation, and then I'll be very grateful if you can remember those keywords. These keywords are Hillsong music and godly love and Pentecostalism. And now let me expand on the reasons to these keywords. Hillsong music is a crucial element of Hillsong Church. Maybe we can say that Hillsong Church exists in the way it is today because of Hillsong music. I'll give you some examples. The significance of Hillsong music within Hillsong Church is evident in the change of church's name in 2001 from Hills Life Center to Hillsong Church. And current global reputation of Hillsong Church is possible, mainly possible because of the consistent popularity of Hillsong music through Hillsong United and Hillsong worship, especially in Latin America and in America, and now in Asia. Hillsong music also is now acknowledged even in the secular sector. For example, like Billboard, and they have won some awards in secular industry. This significance of Hillsong music to Hillsong Church has been examined and explored through arguments within the varying interests of academia, especially within sociology, anthropology, and even theology. However, this growing academic interest has not yet gone further than the original arguments over Hillsong music's branding and the theological meanings of songs. Furthermore, these two different academic interests examining Hillsong music have not met each other, but have been growing separately within different disciplines over the last few years, maybe a decade. It is not to say that previous studies are meaningless or they don't they don't contribute. I'm not saying that, but it is to say that there is a gap between secular scholarship, looking at Hillsong music merely as a tool used in building a mega institution, and theologians looking at Hillsong music as a theological expression of Hillsong Church. Therefore, this article seeks to deal with this gap with an interdisciplinary study utilizing the godly love theory of American sociologist Margaret Poloma and extending the work of Hillsong theologian Tanya Riches. The method in this study is content analysis. In the early stage of structuring my paper, this paper, I plan to do a lyrical analysis on Hillsong songs, but my final decision is not to analyze Hillsong songs directly. It is because I can collect the quantitative data from Riches and Nelson Cohen's data, and this data will not change if I do it again, because they're quantitative. Furthermore, through their different analytic approaches, Riches and Cohen provided valuable findings which I can analyze instead of only dealing with the raw data. By analyzing their findings, this paper seeks to contribute to the progression of studies on Hillsong music instead of creating an independent argument or undermining the previous studies. I examined the godly love measurement used by Poloma in finding a tool for this paper's analysis. Poloma modified the theory of 20th century Russian sociologist Petr Sorokin, who measured love through his five-dimensional model of love. This model measures love through five categories: intensity and extensity, duration, and purity and adequacy. Let me explain a little bit here of each category. Intensity is to examine how intense the love is. It's quite clear. And the extensity is to examine the broadness of love. The range in this broadness is from oneself to the whole universe. And duration is to examine how consistent the love is. And purity is to examine whether the love is free of egoistic motivation. And finally, the adequacy is to examine whether the intention of love aligns with the beneficial consequences. Poloma modified this model to code and analyze both the quantitative and qualitative data she collected from her interviews and surveys and observations. I approached the data from Riches and Cohen in the way that Poloma did with her data. Modifying this five-dimensional model of love, I analyzed the quantitative data from Riches and Cohen's lyrical analysis of Hillsong songs. Also, I analyzed the analysis of Riches and Cohen via this love measurement. A limitation here is that because I'm not collecting new data of Hillsong music from the recent albums, findings are limited to the data from the previous studies of Riches and Cohen. Riches' exam data of Hillsong music is between 1996 and 2007, Hillsong Worship and Hillsong United. And Cohen's data of Hillsong music is between 2007 to 2015, Hillsong Worship and Hillsong United. Hence, the data of Hillsong music from 2015 to the present and the entire range of Hillsong music, Hillsong Young and Free albums will not be examined in this article. However, I hope that future studies on Hillsong music, especially studies on Hillsong Young and Free can give more attention to the theme of love within their songs. And now I'd like to talk about the literature a little bit. There are three categories of literature in this analysis. The first category is Hillsong music, which includes different claims of anthropology, sociology, and theology. The second category is godly love. And like I mentioned above, before about the method. And the third category is Pentecostalism. Each category represents the problem and method and the application of findings in this article. And now, please let me share some key ideas from each of these categories of literature. I have already explained about two different academic interests in Hillsong music earlier, critiques from sociologists and anthropologists mainly focus on Hillsong music's role as an instrument to build a mega church, whereas the main discussion of Hillsong music by theologians is about the theological meaning of Hillsong songs. From those two interests, I'd like to examine the theological studies a bit further here, relating to the theme of love. While Rich's work on Hillsong music shows love as one of the themes within Hillsong music, she did not fully amplify this love theme within her research. It is because the focus of her research was not an overview of Pentecostal theological themes through lyrical analysis, rather than focusing on one theme. American pastor and theologian Cohen has taken a similar approach towards Hillsong music in his work, although he mentioned that he did not take same method as Tanya did. Cohen undertook a lyrical analysis on Hillsong songs to explore doctrinal themes within Hillsong music. However, love as a theological theme is not considered as a significant doctrine in his work. I decided to extend Rich's perspective on love rather than Cohen's view, although Cohen's findings are valuable for this paper study. It is because I think that Rich's perspective on love provides a deeper understanding of Pentecostal aspects on Hillsong music, which are relational and experiential. Now, it is necessary to ask why love is an important matter in the study of Hillsong music. And even the bigger question might be why love is important in Pentecostal studies, Pentecostal theology studies. I found potential within Amos Young's suggestions. Young points out that Pentecostal movements in the past had their focus on the power and the gifts of the Holy Spirit, baptism, although divine love played a bigger role in the early modern Pentecostal experience. Young argues that this focus on power is facing the tension between charisma and institutionalization. Young sees two ways to solve this tension. It is either choosing between charisma and institutionalization, or turning to love again. Young therefore suggests a recentralization of love as a key of renewal of Pentecostalism. Hillsong Church as a mega Pentecostal church is found in this tension, experiencing criticism from the media and secular scholarship on its institutionalization. This popular criticism, which is constructed mainly by outsiders, often includes criticism on Hillsong music as a tool of building an empire, while insiders do not agree with the criticism entirely. It is true that mere rejection of the criticism does not provide any clue as to the direction in which Hillsong Church is heading. Rather, I suggest that exploring love within Hillsong Church would help to clarify the current location of Hillsong Church. Therefore, Hillsong music, as an amplifier of Hillsong's ideology and theology, is to be at the center of this study's examination. Although love can be examined in other areas such as preaching and teaching and maybe serving, volunteering. At this stage, because this study is ongoing, it is difficult to discuss how godly love found in Hillsong music can respond to the criticisms on institutionalization further than my response to the Jung's suggestions earlier. So hopefully I can get to it when I finish writing it. In conclusion, while in this presentation I have not been able to present all the potential findings of this study because this study is ongoing, I hope that some of the points I have shared today might intrigue you and grab your attention, hopefully. And also, I hope that the potency of the studies through the lens of love can be more greatly acknowledged. And finally, thank you very much for taking your time and watching this presentation. And hopefully I'll speak to you very soon. And God bless you all and your family. Thank you.